Hello, I'm a nerd named Ryan, and today we're going to be having a look at this, the brand new Blu-ray Steelbook release of Doctor Who, the Celestial Toymaker. Now, ordinarily, when I get these new Steelbook releases, before I do anything else, before I watch them or anything like that, I usually will do a sort of a closer look, where we just take a look at the packaging and the bonus features, and we normally just leave it at that. However, this is a release that has kind of divided some audiences. When we got our first look at the animation and the design and how it was going to look, it kind of divided audiences. So I got this last night and I decided that I would watch it and give you my thoughts on the Blu-ray release and the animation at the end. But before we do that, we'll head on down and we'll have a look at the packaging and the steelbook.
Okay then, so here we have the steelbook itself. We're just going to take this out of the little J card here. There's the back of the J card, just gives you a bit of a write-up on the story and a bit about your bonus features. We'll go through those a bit more in a moment. And you've just got some credits down at the bottom here. But let's take a look at the actual steelbook. Here we have this beautiful cover. Look at that. I love the design of this. I love the colours on here. You got the red and blue there in the spiral. You got this really cool shot of the Toymaker up here. Very much inspired by the looks of things by that shot from the 60th anniversary specials of Neil Patrick Harris's Toymaker kind of looming over the Doctor. Really like that. And of course you've got the TARDIS. You got to have the TARDIS on the cover. It's iconic. I love that it's kind of on a stage lit up by lights as well. Really kind of puts you into the world of the Toymaker. Love that. And you've got various artifacts of the various games that the Toymaker sets there. There is the spine. And then we have the back. And again, you've got some more kind of bits and pieces from the various games set by the Toymaker. We'll open this up here. So can we see, look at that. We got a nice bit of a wraparound there as well from the front and back cover. Always like to see that. We've got a booklet, which we'll go through in a moment. But first we'll just show you the two discs. So on disc number 1, you have the 4 episodes animated in black and white, as well as the original episode 4. It says here you got bonus features. Well, the bonus features on this one mostly are the audio commentaries and the photographic reconstructions of the first 3 episodes. And then you've also got disc 2 here with the animated versions in colour, and this also has the majority of the bonus material, which we'll go through in a moment. We'll take a look at the booklet in a second. But first, let's just take a look here. I really liked this, the design of this game in the serial. I thought it was really, really good. I liked the car and how kind of bright and vibrant and wacky it is. Yeah, I think some of the designs in the animation were really, really good. Some of them not so much, but we'll get into that when we talk about the story a little bit more in detail. So now we'll have a look at the booklet, and this front cover here, this is actually the cover for the standard Blu-ray and DVD release. Not a bad cover. I kind of like that the Toymaker is front and centre there. That's quite nice. On the back, you've just got various production credits and stuff like that. And I actually do like how you get the kind of the viewing figures and the original kind of broadcast dates for each episode. That's a really cool touch. I like that. If we have a look inside the booklet here, we've got some production notes, a bit of a write-up on the story, how it was made, how it was kind of received, sort of contemporary reviews at the time. This is really great stuff to read through if you are a massive nerd like I am. Always love production notes and stuff like that. I am one of those guys who, reads through all this stuff. So yeah, nice that they included that. And then on the back page here, you do get the contents of each disc. So on disc 1, you have the black and white animations, and you have the option to watch them with audio commentary as well, moderated by Toby Heddock, with various different people for the 4 different episodes. Those are really good audio commentaries, by the way. They were absolutely fantastic, really fascinating. You also have the option to watch the episodes with production subtitles. You get the original version of the 4th episode, The Final Test. That also has an optional commentary and production subtitles. Didn't actually listen to the commentary on that episode, but if it's anything like the rest of them, it should be pretty good. And you do also get photographic reconstructions of episodes 1, 2 and 3, used from off-screen and production images with the soundtrack recordings. This has an optional narration by Peter Purvis, originally recorded for BBC Worldwide and released in April 2001. Excellent. So on disc 2 you have the animation in colour, and it has all the same audio and text commentary options as disc 1. So yeah, they just port over all these audio commentaries onto the colour version as well. You get a photo gallery, images from the BBC photo library and designer John Wood, accompanied by sound effects by Brian Hodgson. We have the Doctor Who Collection Escape Room, Team First Doctor. Emily Cook hosts actors Maureen O'Brien, Peter Purves and Lisa Bowerman's experience in a Doctor Who themed escape room. That was a really good bonus feature. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun to watch. And actually, from the introduction to it, it seems like they've made more of these that we're going to be getting in future Blu-ray releases. So look forward to seeing more of that, because that was great. I look forward to seeing more of them at least, so that was great. We've got Carmen Silvera interview, an audio interview with the actress who appeared in the serial, recorded on the 20th of September 1986 at His Majesty's Theatre, Aberdeen, by Ewan Morgan and Ian Fraser. That's a really fun little interview. We've got Making the Animation, which is just a quick little 10-minute sort of featurette about how they, reconstructed it. You got Doctor Who The Hartnell Years from the VHS videotape, Sylvester McCoy's introduction to the final test. And then you've also got a bunch of PDF documents if you pop the disc into a suitable disk drive. So yeah, a really nice looking steelbook, and packed with content and bonus features and all sorts of stuff like that. You love to see it. But let's talk about the actual animation itself.
So what did I think of the animation overall? Well, honestly, I thought I was kind of mixed on it. I think the biggest problem I had with the animation, and I think the biggest problem a lot of people are going to have with the animation, is the character models, particularly for the Doctor, Dodo, Stephen, and the Toymaker. They're very kind of uncanny, they're very sort of odd designs. Not the biggest fan of the designs of the main characters, particularly the Doctor. I think the Doctor's animation looks kind of weird. I don't think it's like incredibly distracting or anything, but it's not the best design for these characters. And I also do think that overall, the 2D animation suits these Doctor Who releases more. I prefer the 2D animation of the previous releases to the 3D. That being said, I think if any story is going to benefit from that kind of weird, psychedelic, kind of uncanny looking 3D animation, it's definitely this story. And actually, to give the animators some praise, a lot of the set pieces, a lot of the games, and a lot of the design in that sense was really, really good. The first game that Stephen and Dodo have to play, where they're sort of doing the obstacle course against the two clowns, that was a really well-designed sequence, a really well animated sequence. It was kind of all, physics defying and at weird angles and very strange visually, but I really, really dug that. The more surreal elements and the more trippy elements of the story really benefit from that animated reimagining. That's another thing as well. I like that they didn't sort of try to recreate how the show would have originally looked in the 1960s. Instead, they went, look, we can use animation to basically do whatever we want, to make the Toymaker's world as kind of fantastical and strange as we want. And they really, really took advantage of that, and I think that really worked well. There was a bit where they're trying to find the TARDIS, and at the start where they're trying to find the TARDIS, and the Toymaker has made just a bunch of TARDISes, and they're all just sort of flying around. You just see loads of TARDISes flying around, and they're like, oh my god, there's loads of them. It's a really impressive visual. I actually like that original space they're in as well. You've just got like the floating screens and then the vast kind of black background, like it's in like a void and abyss. So there's a lot of decisions with the animation that I really, really like, and a lot of set pieces that I really, really like. So also, when I watched this, I watched the animation twice. I watched the black and white one just to kind of refamiliarize myself with the story, and then I watched the colorized version with the audio commentaries, which, by the way, the audio commentaries on this are fantastic, especially the ones with Peter Purves. I think they were really excellent audio commentaries, but all the audio commentaries were really, really good. But watching the colour version, seeing how it looks in colour, I actually think this is one of the few stories where I think the colour version works better. Usually with these animated reconstructions, I prefer the black and white. But I think given the nature of this story, given how kind of weird and psychedelic and trippy it is, I think the very sort of bright colourful design of the animation really works in its favour. So I would definitely, if you are going to watch the animated version, I'd actually recommend the colour version over the black and white, which is rare for me. Like I say, normally I like the black and white one, and the black and white one is fine, don't get me wrong, the black and white one is really good too and a lot of fun, but I think the colour one works better. But yeah, so overall, while I do prefer the 2D animation for these kinds of releases, I think this story in particular really benefits from the more kind of surreal looking 3D animation. A lot of the set design is great. A lot of the games are animated really well in a really kind of surreal fashion. There's a part in this as well where you have no dialogue, there's just incidental music, so they create this kind of very trippy sort of dream sequence, almost dream sequence, which looks really good. You've got like multiple versions of the Toymaker, you've got playing cards flying all over the place. That was a really interesting sequence. I really liked that. I thought that was really well done. Like I say, I think for me it's just the character models of the 4 main characters that let this down. Even the toys, the characters, the actors playing the toys, I think they benefit from the animation because that uncanny sort of look suits those characters more, because they can make them look more like toys. The sergeant character in the kitchen, they make him look like an actual toy soldier as opposed to, you know, a guy in a costume. The clowns are really well designed as well in the first game. I think they're really cool. So yeah, really for me it's only the 4 main characters designs that are a little bit off-putting, but even then I don't think it's as bad as everyone seems to suggest it is. I can understand that the animation is going to be very divisive, but for me, I think it works fine. Again, I do prefer the 2D animated serials, but I think this story in particular really works with the more weird and bizarre animation. So let's just have a little moment to chat about some of the bonus features. As mentioned, the audio commentaries are all fantastic. You do have a couple of archival bonus features on here as well. You've got an audio interview with Carmen Silvera, who's one of the actors who plays several of the toys in the various Toymakers games. And you do also have an introduction from Sylvester McCoy, which was originally kind of part of the William Hartnell years VHS release. That's only like a minute long, and it's kind of just, you know, Sylvester McCoy summing up the Celestial Toymaker and, you know, introducing the story. But you know what? I love Sylvester McCoy. He's my favourite Doctor. I'll never be mad about seeing Sylvester McCoy just pop up even for a moment. But my favourite thing on this is the escape room, and what I really love about the escape room is that at the start, before we see the first Doctor's companions, you know, going through this Doctor Who themed escape room, we are told that this is part of a series for the Blu-ray collection range. And we see clips of various other ones that they filmed. Like there's one with Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldred and Bonnie Langford. There's a 5th Doctor one. There's a 6th Doctor one. And I need to see more of these. I need all of these to be released because they all look like so much fun. Like this one on here was an absolute blast and a joy. I really loved seeing the escape room episode, and I'm so glad that we have more of them. I'm guessing they're probably going to release them in the big chunky collection era box sets. But yeah, I'm hoping that we get those sooner rather than later, especially the one with Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldred and Bonnie Langford, because that one I can already tell is going to be an absolute blast. So yeah, that bonus feature is really good as well. Oh, and there's also a making of the animation, which is fine. It's only about 10 minutes long, but that's okay. That's a pretty interesting thing. And if you're not a fan of the animation, you do also have the option to watch the first 3 episodes reconstructed using photographs. And then you can watch episode 4. Episode 4 is on here, you know, as is, because that's the one that survived. My one nitpick with that is there's no option to watch the photographic reconstruction episodes and the surviving episode 4 in one go. You have to go basically watch episode 1, then go back to the menu, select episode 2, then go back to the menu, select episode 3. You know, you have to do it that way, which is a very small kind of nitpick, but I would have liked if they had an option to just, you know, play all of those. Also, by the way, with the photographic reconstructions, I just had to flick through a couple of those. They're really well done, actually. They're quite well done. And if you can't really make sense of what's happening just with the photos alone, there is the option to watch those with narration from Peter Purvis. You don't have to have that, that's an optional feature, but it is there for all 3 of those episodes, which I think is a nice touch. So, yeah, even if you're not a fan of the animation, there is also the photographic reconstruction version on here as well. So overall, I think this is a pretty good release. Lots of nice features on here. Really lovely steelbook. Again, I can understand why the animation isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, and for sure the models of the Doctor and the companions aren't the best. But overall, I think the animation is not too distracting. It's not too bad. I kind of like it, honestly, and especially the colour version. I think, you know, the way that the Toymaker's world is realised is actually pretty good. But what do you think of the Celestial Toymaker? Whatever your thoughts are, drop them down in the comments. Let's have a chat about it. That's all I've got for you today, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.